Well, hi everybody, I'm Louis Amestoy with HS Game Time Live, and I'm now joined by Tim Dutton. We're going to talk about the San Andreas League and some of the changes in the league this year, Tim. Some notable changes with Carter and Rialto coming into the league, making it an 8-team league. That's kind of the first storyline here, but it also feels like kind of a two-team race right now, right?
It really is. Colton won it last year. They're going to be good again. They have a new coach, Rick Bray, who's taking over for Harold Strauss. Going to run a little bit of a new offense. Cajon
will be a modern offense. That's the question.
It'll be a modern offense. It's a single back offense.
Right.
They're doing away with the double wing that Strauss was so fond of.
Right. Yeah. No offense to Harold Strauss. He loved innovation, using kind of old school offenses and formations. So it'll be interesting to see how Colton responds with Rick.
He made it work. Yeah, Rick is going with a little more of a modern offense. We'll see how that works.
Right.
They're going to have their hands full with Cajon, though, which has a lot of people back on both sides of the ball.
All right, let's talk about individually Colton right now. What does Colton look like right now going into the season? Who are some of the standouts?
Right now they have 3 All-CIF guys coming back. Running back Tyler Irvin, he's a senior. He ran for 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns last year. They have an All-CIF tackle, John Taylor. He's 6'3", 220. And they have a linebacker, Devon Hussey, who was averaging 10 tackles a game last year. Also a pretty good defensive back in Andrew Zapata, who had 5 picks last year.
I see a note here saying that Bray is saying that the team's a little bit thin. He needs to develop some more players than at this point.
Yeah, he's being a little picky. They've got some really good talent. He says they're going to rely on their top 15 people, and he says he needs the rest of them to develop up to the standards I think that he'd like to see.
All right. Kim Bowden over at Cajon now in his 11th season. He's got quite a bit back too.
He does. He's got 7 starters back on offense. He's got 8 starters back from defense. They had a very good defense last year. They like to run the ball a lot. They've got Jamal Casey and Jacques Kesey, who both do a good job, kind of interchangeable. And
It'd be fun to write those, Casey and Kesey.
Yeah, good luck. I wouldn't want to be the PA announcer there.
Right.
Did see him play last year, though. They love to control the clock, keep the ball a lot, and let their defense do the rest.
Right. All right, let's talk about Arroyo Valley. Marcus Sauer now in his 3rd season. I mean, obviously this is a team that could obviously vie for the playoffs this year out of the San Andreas League. What does Coach Sauer have back at Arroyo Valley?
Coach Sauer's very excited right now. He thought he was going to go in without his quarterback of a year ago, Michael Yearwood. This guy passed for 2,000 yards and ran for 1,000 last year. Transferred to an LA school last spring to help his grandma who was ill. He suddenly is back now,
right,
kind of unexpectedly, so that's a huge boost for that team.
Right, I mean, a double threat with the rushing and the passing as well. All right, let's talk about San Bernardino, Nick Monica in his 4th season now as well. Some question marks with San Bernardino. Let's talk about them.
They do. They have the quarterback this year is going to be Kaleem Perkins. He's a sophomore. He was a wide receiver last year. So they're going to see how he kind of does. They're a little bit of a dark horse. They've got some talent. This is Coach Monica's first time having a senior group that he saw from start to finish. But they do have some question marks, as with a number of other teams. One of the issues they're looking at that we're writing a story on is grades, just trying to keep kids eligible. They've got some good athletes. The key is keep them out on the field.
Historically, that's been difficult for the San Bernardino City Unified School District. So many kids ineligible. That makes it difficult for these coaches. I mean, if you actually look at the actual number of kids that are ineligible to participate, it's actually quite small. It makes them a very small school to draw from. It'll be interesting to see how Perkins develops as a quarterback at 6'3", 180. Probably has the build that most coaches would be jealous of.
He does. He's a great athlete. They wanted to move him to quarterback. I think they figured he's our best athlete.
Right.
Let's put him at the position where he's going to have the most impact.
All right, so Carter now comes out of the Citrus Belt League into the San Andreas League, but most people say that's not really that big of a drop-off. It just makes sense for Carter and Rialto, who kind of have been in the bottom or toward the bottom of the league over the last few years.
Yeah, and some people might say, wow, they're going from the CBL, which is an upper division, to the San Andreas League. But Alex Pierce, who's in his 3rd year coaching Carter, says it's not as much of a drop, if any, as you would think. He says with Colton and Cajon, as good as they are, kind of like replacing Rev and Redlands, which were the powerhouses over in that league. So we're still looking at 2 very good teams in this league.
All right, San Gregorio, Ron Geringer back in for his 2nd year. What's this team look like?
He's going to have his quarterback back. Dalen Contreras broke his thumb in his 2nd game last year. That's obviously a big blow when you lose your quarterback that early in the season. They have an all-league receiver, Demario Brooks, who's back. Pretty good running back, Mike Martin, averaged 5.5 yards a carry last year. They've got some experience. They've got some athletes. Question mark on them is their defense. It's pretty young. They made some mistakes last year, gave up some big plays.
Right.
They're going to have to get better.
Coach Geringer, one of the better coaches in the area. I mean, certainly if he's someone to turn something around at San G, he could be the one that does that now. Definitely. Pacific has had just a terrible time. I mean, just got, I think only scored like 45 or 48 points last season. I may be lowballing that, maybe giving them, a little bit, but they really had some struggles. Now, we had a chance to see Pacific during a couple passing league games this season, and I thought they looked athletically gifted, but whether or not that translates to 11-man tackle football, I don't know.
Exactly. You have some teams who can look good in a passing league, and they're trying to get bigger and stronger. They have a weight program going. Oscar Torres is his 3rd year. He's trying to build that program up. He's dealing with the history they've had. He came in, and first thing he did was snap his 26-game losing streak, which just, getting the feeling of winning back. But he's got a lot of work to do, most definitely. He's got Kevin Hardy, a running back. He's got Leo Davis, a senior at quarterback, very strong arm. Got some athletes there, but again, it's a tough league, and the big thing with them is they're pretty thin. If they have 1 or 2 people, especially skilled people, go out, they could be in trouble.
And Rialto coming back into the San Andreas League. I mean, a lot of turnover, a lot of problems at Rialto. I mean, some are sort of similar to some of Pacific's concerns as well. They had hired Coach Don Markham to be the coach. Now he's gone, and Gavin Pachot, is that his name?
I believe that's
is coming in here as an interim coach. What do we expect from them?
Well, he was the offensive coordinator last year. It's kind of hard to know what to expect. I think Markham got him going. Then he left. Pachot came in kind of late in the game. He's trying to get the program going. Robert Williams will be a big key for him. He's a quarterback. He was out last year with a broken wrist. Got all 3 of their linebackers back. They're just in tough. It's going to be an interesting team to see how they pull together.
Right. All right, let's talk about predictions. What do you see right now as how this league's going to shape up?
Well, no matter who you predict to win, probably somebody's not going to be happy. But It is Colton and Cajon. It's kind of tough to pick between them. They play on October 2nd. That game is at Colton. I think Cajon, they have a lot of people back on both sides, a lot of experience. I would pick them to probably win it. Colton 2nd. I think Arroyo Valley's got a shot, maybe at 2nd, maybe even at 1st place, especially getting their quarterback back. After that, San Bernardino, San Gorgonio, Pacific, those are all really kind of hard to tell. They'll be good one week, not so good the other week. The CBL teams. Carter's got some athletes, so they could make a run in the playoff spot.
And I think they get 4 this year, so going into the playoffs. So we'll see how that works out as well for the San Andreas League. All right, Tim, thanks a lot for talking to us about San Andreas League in 2010. We'll have more on HS Game Time Live, more preseason high school football.